Welcome to We're Talking Bears, the show where uncle, nephew, and son bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience. I'm Uncle,
I'm nephew.
I'm son.
and we're talking Bears. And you
Yes,
want to talk
sir.
about talking Bears? Man, it was a brawl. Bear versus a Jaguar. Jaguar didn't live through it.
Didn't go well. Cats didn't go well.
Yeah, and you know
Go
what? It
well.
wasn't supposed to. We knew what was supposed to happen, and as we called it, the Bears went in there and handled business out there in London. And we had a lot of Bears faithful fans out there supporting, and we brought home the W. So hey, I expected this. I expected this. What about y'all?
Hey, you know what? I wanted this, and I said we need to completely dominate these guys, not just win, dominate. And we did it. We dominated them. We scored a touchdown in every quarter. We went up 7-3 in the first, 14-3 in the second, 21 was it 21-10 in the third? Come on. We just kept pouring it on. In the fourth quarter dropped 2 just because they got a touchdown.
All right.
It's beautiful. Crazy thing when you look at the NFC North. Literally, we are on the verge of sending 4 teams to the playoffs for the first time in history.
I don't even know if that's possible.
I mean, it is because there's 3 wild card spots,
True.
and literally right now it just comes down to what do you call it? Tiebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFC North is destroying every other division. Think about it. We've played a total. We only have a total of 5 losses in a total of almost, what do we got?
24 games.
23, because the Vikings had a bye.
Yeah.
So we got 5 losses in 23 games. We are tearing every team in the North is tearing through the league.
Yeah. We're the best division in football right now, which is scary.
Isn't it? Man. And look, this silly, I don't know how we end up behind the Packers in tiebreakers, because to me, the more important tiebreaker is your conference and your division. And right now we got them on both of those, but apparently because they beat the doggone Indy and we didn't, they're ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That sucks. But we know what we got to do. We got to get ahead of them. We've got to stay ahead of the Packers and work our way above the Lions. Come to fight with the Vikings. You don't want to be the one team left at home out of the conference either. You don't want to miss it by some silly. There's you tied your shoes 3 times and he tied his shoes 4 times, and so you didn't make the playoffs. Something stupid, because there's no play-in game. We gotta get it. But that's a long way down the road.
Yeah.
That's a long way down the road.
We
The other
business,
thing,
man.
if we were in any other division in the NFC, we'd be tied for first. And that's a huge sentence.
Yeah. There's only a couple divisions in all of football we wouldn't be tied for first or in first.
That's true.
The
NFC North is the one.
Yeah, we're tough up here. That also is scary, because we got 3 games, and then we're going ahead and we're starting to play those teams, and we're gonna have to really slug it out in the back half of the season. I think it was a favor done to us by the scheduling gods that we don't have to play these dudes until late in the season. We lets Caleb get his legs under him, lets all these coaches kind of start to gel and really work on execution and game planning and making sure that these talented players are consistently being put in the right positions.
How about Shane Waldron learning how to call some intelligent plays?
Shane Waldron's always been, I think, a good play caller. I don't think.
Yeah, but that Colts game is on him. That Colts game is on him. You can't give away a touchdown in a tight game when you're sitting on the 4-yard line and you got four shots from the 4.
That wasn't the only problem in the Colts game.
I agree. Wasn't the only problem, but you get a touchdown there, that's all problem.
Yeah, but our offensive line was not playing well at the time. The personnel were not executing. The run game was not where it needed to be. I think we've improved in almost every phase. Maybe defense has just been consistent, maintaining since then, but we've improved almost across the board since that Colts game. So I'm hesitant to just put that on one person or coach. Yeah, there were some bad calls. There was some bad execution. There were some bad decisions made by guys on the field. So I think really
no argument. But I will argue that there are just certain things you can't do. You know what I mean? It's Rex Grossman and
if it works,
Nolan Cruz fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line when we're about to score. You just can't do that and win.
If it works, we're calling him a genius. So that's just football, man. One play is one play. If you got a history of it, if you got a pattern of it, like Luke Getsy or whatever, that's one thing. But it's different when you're in a new team, a new environment with new players, new personnel, and you got to find out what they can and can't do. I think the personnel usage was a problem. I think that's more on the head coach. If we'd have just put Roshan in and just had him go balls to the wall at the line of scrimmage like we have been doing since, that changes things.
But don't forget, we've been using our own new better than a tush push
with Kramer, having a first Kramer. That makes a difference. So it's a lot of things that contributed to us not getting that conversion and making that touchdown. So I don't want to just put that on Waldron. I think Waldron has been a net positive in a dozen different ways. There are receivers that are running free all over the yard, and we've never seen that with the Bears. Never. Yeah. Even if we had like Marshall and Jeffrey, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be every couple of weeks you'd have guys schemed open, but mostly it was them executing more so than it was just scheme. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of his pass concepts. He really has a good understanding of how to put the pressure on defensive backs and make them struggle and make decisions and get put in conflict. So that's something we've lacked in every type of pass offense that we've had for the last half decade. So
I'll say this: when you talk about a pass offense over the past half decade, Keenan Allen, Caleb being able to use him, this is something where I think he's excelled past Justin. Justin wasn't really able to use Allen Robinson effectively. It's harder for a young quarterback to use an older vet who's not going to have that speed after separation, where he gets position on the guy, but there's no separation at all. In several of those throws where Keenan Allen had great, impactful plays, the defender was right there with him, like excellent coverage. Mm-hmm. But Caleb's figured out that doesn't mean Keenan's not open. And that doesn't mean I can't get him the ball. And I think that was something that Justin had as a weakness with Allen Robinson, because they just couldn't get on the same page. He couldn't get him the ball where Allen needed it, when Allen needed it. And, I think he went away from throwing it to Allen, which to his detriment. Keenan's hitting 5 for 5. Getting 5 for 5 from Caleb Williams is going to pay dividends all season. Like, people are going to look up and go, man, you can't sleep on Keenan. He'll get a couple, 3 touchdowns on you. They're going to have to cover him. That just makes DJ and Rome more open.
Yeah, and I think that's another big part of it, because across from Allen Robinson at the time, let's put this in a context. Across from Allen Robinson at the time, okay, you had Darnell Mooney and the ghost of what's the tight end's name? Jimmy Graham, right? That was who you had across from Allen.
I'm not gonna let you call him the ghost of Jimmy Graham. Jimmy had some scores back then.
It was the ghost of Jimmy Graham, dude. He was not putting up no 1,000-yard season. He wasn't even putting up 5 touchdowns, let alone 12, 13. So it was the ghost of Jimmy Graham that we had on this roster. Okay, I'm not saying that the ghost of Jimmy Graham isn't a decent tight end. It was a decent.
He actually had 8 touchdowns the first year with Chicago.
Yeah, but Justin wasn't playing that year, so we're not talking about that. The second year with Chicago, he didn't have half that. So
we wouldn't throw him the ball.
Yeah, and then he went on to the Saints, and he didn't have a third of that. So let's just call it what it is. The man was like 36.
Actually, he had half of it at the Saints. He had 4 with the Saints.
So long story short,
on a handful of catches, they just used him in the red zone.
Yeah, exactly. He was the ghost of himself. He was not a viable target around the whole field. So that's number one. The second part was, and to put that in perspective, Darnell Mooney is a talented guy. We love Darnell Mooney. We always stand Darnell Mooney. but Darnell Mooney would be our wide receiver 4. In his best,
Maybe.
Darnell Mooney today would be our wide receiver 4.
Yeah, that's why I said
He's
maybe.
not starting over Rome. He's not starting over DJ. He's not starting over Keenan. Darnell Mooney's our wide receiver 4 on this team. Okay, so Keenan is never, ever going to be covered the way that Allen Robinson was covered on that team. Second of all, Allen Robinson was dropping touchdowns, dropping first downs. Allen Robinson was not catching the ball when Justin was throwing it to him. And then when he went to the Rams the next year, or the Steelers and then the Rams or whatever it was, he flamed out with both of those teams. Ben Roethlisberger couldn't use him, and neither could Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. So I'm not going to sit here and say that was all one quarterback to the other. There's a ton of factors that differ. The offense, the coach, all of that. That's all very different in a very different circumstance. What I will say with Caleb is his quick game has been phenomenal. That is one thing that we haven't seen in a Chicago quarterback since Jay Cutler, where the ball is just out quickly. And maybe it's just a product of different systems or whatever, better coaching, better development. But the way that we're seeing Caleb make these decisions in the quick game, the way he's hitting the open guy, the way he's finding the open read, has been a real breath of fresh air and has really been impressive for a rookie.
And he's only got 1 pick in the last 3 games.
That's true. Now the deep passes are their own thing, right? So in the first 3 weeks, 1 to 3, he threw 18 deep passes, connected on 2 of them. And I think 2 of them were picked. Since then, he has thrown, I think, only 1 or 2 deep passes, and 1 of them was picked to the boundary. I'll say to the boundary.
Yeah.
Middle
and
of the
he missed. He just missed.
Yeah, he misses a lot when it's deep. So let's not even. That's still the area that we need to see improvement. Middle of the field deep, he has been starting to have some success. So that's what we need to kind of keep him focused. Is spread those corners toward the boundary, but. This is where it starts getting dangerous because now it's 6 weeks in. The book on Caleb Williams is getting written. Defensive coordinators are going to start to know what his tendencies are. They're going to start to know what he likes. They're going to start to know what he's good at hitting. They're going to start putting people in those positions and putting guys in place to take that away, to take away what he's good at. And
what I think was partially great is the fact that he went out there and he got 56 yards on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes a difference. I mean, it reminds people that, okay, he's not just going to sit there in the pocket.
Yeah, he's a lot faster than a guy like a Joe Burrow. So, and Joe Burrow, you saw him have a little 50-yard run or whatever it was this past week. So, Caleb can move when he's left on his own. So that's good. It's good to see his legs come alive.
How you feel about it, nephew?
Man, you know how I'm feeling. I look, the Jaguars, they might be a little bit better than Carolina, but I felt the same way that I felt about that game. This needed to be a statement game as well. These are not teams that we should have to be worrying about. And we went in there and we handled business. I agree with Cuz talking about Caleb in the short game because that's really what opens it up. You don't give the offensive line the opportunity to kind of let you down. We give them an opportunity to get some quick plays. And now all of a sudden, when we start to mix it up and try to throw the ball down the field, they're able to actually hold up for a minute. So I just hope we can keep it up, man. Like I said, the good thing is we do see the division late in the season. I mean, late within our schedule. So hopefully the team is gelling and figuring out what it is that we are good at and how to mix it up and call those plays. But I feel like we'll be a dangerous team because we're still new, and I think they're just figuring it out. Some of those earlier games, I feel like if we were to play those teams now, we probably would win those games that we've lost. But I feel like that's just part of the growing pains of the rookie quarterback. But I'm loving it. Caleb is showing improving. And I do agree he needs to work on those deep passes, man, because the one to DJ could have been a touchdown. But I feel like he can get there. As long as you're doing more good than bad as a rookie, we expect the mistakes. So yeah. I'm just ready to keep rolling, man. We got the bye. We come back after the bye. I feel like if we can win all 3 of those games, great. If we can go at least 2 of 3, that's good. Anything less than that, I feel like it's kind of a disappointment for me. But I just want to see us keep rolling after this bye week.
Yeah, we got to roll. We ended up getting instead of getting bums, we ended up getting division leaders. So we end up coming back to face the
Commanders.
The Commanders.
Yeah, the Commanders, who, crazy enough, are leading their division and duked it out with Baltimore. The Cardinals, who flash but have kind of vaporized after the flash. So I think the Cardinals and the Patriots, those are gimmies. We need to go 3-0 in these next 3 games before we hit our division. We got the toughest division in football, and we need to go 3-0. But before we get on to that, how about Cole Kmet? You're talking about a I can do everything guy.
Yeah.
Man, you get a guy. Did you see some of those blocks? The Caleb run where he just had a phenomenal, completely legal block, no holding. Hands were inside the body and just opened the corner up for Caleb to get around there. Phenomenal block there. Obviously, the 2 touchdowns were phenomenal. Great plays. 5 total receptions on 5 targets. Just really great plays. But then to come in and have 5 snaps on 5 extra points that were all good.
Yeah.
The snap on the field goal was but I'll take 5 out of 6 from a guy who doesn't regularly do it.
Yeah. You know what? I was definitely excited about Cole Kmet. I remember looking back at the beginning of the season, week 1, and even now probably week 2, wondering where was Cole Kmet. I was seeing a lot more of what's my guy's name? But Kmet, man, he's our guy. He was our guy last season, and I'm just glad to see them actually using him because he's definitely a weapon for us, especially with the other guys we have out there.
He is a weapon.
Yeah, we knew about it though, man. We've been talking about Kmet on this podcast, man, for years. So, like, really, even when he was a rookie, we could see the potential in a guy that big, who had that kind of hands. And he doesn't have the best movement skills, but man, he's definitely got enough straight line speed to be a threat in the intermediate field, and enough size to bully linebackers, and especially little deep. So
that first touchdown,
beautiful.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. Oh yeah, just threw a linebacker off him. He said, "No,
man,
just down."
And he actually credited Jimmy, because Jimmy played with him. He credited Jimmy with that. He said, Jimmy told him, take on half the guy, split him in half, and he's like, and that's what he said when he looked at the dude and he said him turning. He's like, I'm going to take on half of this guy. I'm going right through him, and he did, and he blew him up. And was able to land in the end zone, get extra 5 yards and a touch.
Right.
Yeah, that was tough, man. That was tough. But man, he been making plays like that against the Saints last year when he mossed Tyrann Mathieu, who's one of the best DBs in the game, year after year. And he's had tons of success with this team. So, man, shout out to Cole, especially stepping in, doing the long snapping. That's crazy to be able to do that, catch the touchdown, and then go snap the extra point.
Right.
Guys in the league could even attempt that. So credit to him. Shout out.
For sure. Awesome. Hey, our guy who's having a phenomenal effect, but really hasn't had great numbers this year, Montez.
Montez got pretty good numbers.
I mean, he's got 2.5 sacks. That's below his average.
I thought he was above right now. I thought he was at 3.5.
No, what he keeps being the guy that forces the quarterback to run into somebody else.
Yeah,
right.
He's right there. He gets a paw on him, and the quarterback tries to spin or get away and flatten. So that's happening a lot. He's got a lot of really important tackles. Just right time, right place, stop the run, get a tackle for loss, hit the quarterback and let the quarterback throw the ball, as he's always been great at. He's everywhere, and he's causing pressure, and he got the forced fumble. It's just there's so much talent on the defense. It's hard to be the one that brings the guy down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's taking up a double team, and Gordon sneaking around the other side and killing the guy.
Yeah, you got Brisker getting in there, Gordon getting in there, the linebackers getting in there on the rare times that we actually blitz linebackers. We don't do that too much. But we've seen a lot of development from Gervon Dexter and Andrew Billings based on the one-on-one matchups they've been getting because of Montez Sweat. Greg Hardy on the other side, or is Greg Hardy or whatever. What's his name?
The new guy, 52, the new 50 Deuce.
Or no, 52. Yeah. He's been really good over there on the other side. He had a really good game to open us up in week 1 against the Titans, and just basically everybody's been winning those one-on-ones. Everybody's been getting that rotation and stepping up in those moments, and I think that's partly due to his presence and leadership and the offensive attention he commands. So Montez has always been that guy, even with the Commanders. And now he gets a little revenge game to the team that traded him. So we'll see how he this week.
Oh boy.
Him versus is going to be prime time because
Yeah.
Jaden needs to roll out to the right, and that's where Montez Sweat is always lined up almost. So that we're going to see Sweat, see if he can contain that guy. He's very shifty. He's got really good feet. He's very fast. And they like to go to that side for their quick game, for their screens. That's almost always to the offensive right. So we'll see how Sweat does against these Commanders. They're going to game plan really hard to try to take him out of the game.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Try as you may. Try as you may.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I got us winning the next 3.
They know the
Commanders. We need to win the next 3. I'm with you. I'm with you. And 50 deuce now is Darrell Taylor.
Okay.
Right. And Hardy's 92. He's the guy that punched out that kickoff return.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Commanders game. We got the bye week coming up. We got 2 weeks to prepare. The Commanders do not. They'll be coming off of a tough matchup. So I think we should be in position to have a competitive game. I think we're the better team on paper. I think the Commanders have a lot of momentum. I think they've got a lot of hype. Jaden Daniels is playing out of his mind. He's been really, really impressive. But so is Caleb. So it's going to be a battle of the number 1 and number 2 overall pick this year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about this game going into it?
You know what? I think it's an unfair battle because our defense and their defense, there's no comparison. None. We should smoke them. Jaden Daniels is good, but, we faced some quality quarterbacks, some guys that know how to cut a team to pieces. We haven't given up 21 against but one team. And, we end up playing a super veteran quarterback with, 18 years of experience or something like that was able to get 3 touchdowns on us. Aside from that, it's not. I don't think this is. I think it was flexed to the afternoon game by CBS, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a contest. I think it's going to be underrated. I don't think we're going to destroy them like we destroyed Carolina, but I think we're going to beat them well. And right now the way Caleb is playing, he doesn't have to be the best man on the field. He doesn't have to get the most yards. He just has to be opportunistic when defense or special teams puts him in a great position, move the offense down the road and get it in the end zone. That's what he's been doing. He only had a couple hundred yards and 4 touchdowns. That means he had short fields. And we had a good run game going. So just let's be smart and let's do similar things. I don't think that, when we face the NFC North defenses, which are 3 of the best defenses in the NFC, in the league, we're going to have to come up with some new solutions. But right now, to get through the next 3 games, I think offensively, these are practices for what we're going to have for what's coming.
That's a bold statement. Okay, so you're saying your prediction is belt to ass. Can we get a score for that prediction?
Oh, I got you on that because I'm going to kind of piggyback that sentiment. You know what? I agree. I feel like this game will be a game for our defense pretty much to dictate how much we win by. And I think that if we come out there and we do like we've been doing for the most part, holding teams down, even though I have been seeing what Jaden Daniels is doing, I think he's a talented quarterback, a talented number 2 overall pick. But I think Caleb has been doing this thing as well, like you said. So what I feel like this will look like is I feel like if our defense was to just not show up, I feel like we could potentially see a close game, maybe going back and forth, because I don't think they're going to be able to stop us. You get what I'm saying? At least not for 60 minutes from doing what we want to do on the offensive end. I feel like our defense, however, can. You get what I'm saying? I feel like if we can get enough pressure to Jaden Daniels, maybe he makes some big mistakes. You get what I'm saying? Or maybe we just hold him down a little bit and, score more points than them. And I think that's how it's going to go, man. I'm not really giving them, I'll say belt to ass for sure. Belt to ass for sure. I say we're going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. I really want to say like 2.5. Like, give me like we're going to win by 17.5. Come on, I know how the books look. Probably 17.5. I give us 17.5 on the victory. Because I really think that we're going to go in there and handle business. I think that the offense is figuring it out. I feel like they're figuring out the play calling and what works for our team. So I think Caleb has accepted the challenge. And again, I mean, of course, he can have setbacks. He can have bad games. He's still a rookie. But I think right now we're rolling, and I expect our defense to pretty much go out there and set the tone for how much we'll win by. I don't think they'll be getting too much over on our defense.
I hear you. Let me throw some numbers up. I'm going to say at least 8 points. At least 8 points.
You're being nice.
I think it should be more.
I thought you said belt to ass. That's not belt to ass.
Oh, you made me roll it back.
A touchdown a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. That's one possession. You said belt to ass.
Right.
All right. I'll go 10. I'll go 10 points.
Okay.
All right. Man, I think it's going to be a win. I think we can take the Commanders. I think our defense is really the tiebreaker here when it comes to, what the final outcome will be, as it has been every week for a while now. I think it's really since we brought on, what's the guy we brought in? Snow. After that, Broncos game last year, our defense has really just been crazy since we brought in him, and then Montez Sweat really just kind of, pieced the last bit together. Especially we'll be getting Brisker back. I don't know what the status on Tyreek Stevenson is going to be. We'll have to pay attention to that, but he's got an extra week to heal up. So we should be healthy. We should be rested. We should be game planned. So I don't know if we're going to beat them by that much, because they really fought tooth and nail with the Baltimore Ravens just this past week, which that's a tough team. That might be the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, but their defense, Ravens defense, goes up and down.
It does, but I mean, I'm just saying they fought tooth and nail with one of the best teams in the league. We've been beating on scrubs, so I think they're just going to be a little more ready for that intensity of playing a good team than we are. So they might get a little bit on us early, but I would think that we keep the streak alive, keeping teams under 20, and my prediction would be something like 24-17, 24-19. But we win comfortably, a little over a field goal, no nail biting at the end, and kneel it out for the dub.
Man, belt to ass, guys. You know what you guys are talking about, man. I can't be on the road, man. You guys look.
Don't hope yet.
We were on the Hard Knocks. We got Caleb, the overall #1 pick. We got Rome. We were on Hard Knocks. Like, hey, I'm telling you, the league is trying to tell us something, and you guys need to listen. It's our team. It's our time. Don't be surprised.
I believe in us
when we start beating teams that you counted us out against. I feel like those early losses were just a sign of the fact that we have a rookie quarterback and a team that has to gel together. But man, 4 touchdowns this past week. The QB ratings going up every week. 23 of 29. Caleb is looking good. The team is feeling good. And I feel like when you feel good, you play good. When you play good, you win games. And these other guys are going to, all we got to do is force a little bit of pressure on their guys and allow them to make those mistakes that we've seen so many times on our side. That's all we need, man. It's our time, man. So I'm not hearing that. I'm saying belt to ass to these guys.
I know how you feel. So I know how you feel, because you're always in with the predictions, even when it's tough games. But I just believe never to drink your own Kool-Aid too much. We still got a rookie quarterback. There's gonna be ups and downs.
It's gonna be an up week. That's all I'm saying.
It's been up weeks, but think about this: the teams we've beaten, the 4 wins we have are combined 4-18 on the season, something like that.
Well, three of them only have 1 win each.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's not like we haven't been beating good teams. We haven't been throwing on good secondaries. We haven't been blocking good defensive lines. We haven't been schemed against by good coaches and coordinators. So I think we should just understand that there's still growth for this team. We haven't arrived yet.
No, for sure.
We gotta learn to beat good teams. We gotta learn to win close games. We gotta learn how to fight through those tough moments and through that adversity, because there's always going to be adversity. Any team can win any given Sunday. We walked into the Panthers game like a trap game. So we really got to just keep our heads level. Rely on our talent. We have the talent to do it. We got to let the coaches trust the guys that are out there. Caleb's got to trust what he sees. He's got to trust his guys, and they got to trust him. Our running game's got to click. We need to keep rotating Roshan and DeAndre Swift. He's been popping off. But as long as we keep this formula, I think we will win. And I'm not as gung ho because this is the best team we faced all year by leaps and bounds. So we're gonna have to learn how to overcome a really good team.
Yeah, you're actually right. It's 4 wins by 4 teams. So we've beat the 4 teams that are 1-4, and
They
which is
don't
what we're supposed to do.
win. Yeah, they didn't know how to win. None of the teams we've beaten know how to win. So we really got to just have that kind of mindset of just hard hat lunch pail and show up to work. And you know, don't drink your own Kool-Aid.
Well, I mean, the Titans was week 1, so I mean, they had to be a 1. They had no wins when they saw us. They had no losses.
I mean, their total record, the teams we have won, their total
I
record,
get it.
they have only won 4 games.
I'm just saying we were supposed to be a part of that. We should have. The other teams we played should have got losses too. It's a learning curve, and you're right. We got a rookie quarterback.
Now, arguing with him, a lot of those teams have faced the NFC North.
That's
so
true.
you facing the toughest division, you're gonna get some L's.
Yeah, that's that, and we've been handing them out. So I'm just saying, it's not going to be as easy playing a good team as it has been playing Jaguars after they just got hit by a hurricane and then flew to England on a short week. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be that every week.
No,
and we really just got to keep that in perspective. And until we start playing these tough teams, that's when we really find out who we are. When we play the Packers, when we play Brian Flores and the Vikings, and see how we do against their defense. You know, when we're playing these guys that can put 30, 40 points on you, the Lions dropping 40 and 50
points. 47 on Dallas.
You know what I'm saying? Like, until we start playing guys that can do that, I'm not ready to say, oh, we're just going to roll through guys and win by 50. Like, maybe.
I'm with you. I think though, the Commanders, again, they're coming out of a weak division. Again, Detroit just proved what that division looks like, because they absolutely rolled Dallas. They embarrassed them on Jerry Jones' birthday. They embarrassed them. So you know,
off lineman a touchdown like on multiple plays, which was crazy.
Man. You know, so I don't think our division's overrated. We're beating everybody. So, but I think their division, we'll see. I think the Commanders probably end up in the playoffs, but you know, how, you know, where they're positioned. Are they the number 4, number 5, number 3 team? I don't see any chance that they're 1 or 2.
Yeah. At the end of the year?
Yeah. The Commanders.
Really? No. Really? You think they're better than the Cowboys? That's not
No. They might win their division, but I'm saying they're not going to come in ahead of Detroit, ahead of Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they come in ahead of the 49ers.
You know, 49ers have been looking very beatable without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Well, agreed, but they just got to remember how to play without him. So, but we'll see, man. Plus, everybody's seen him so many times. You're doing the same thing for the 5th year in a row, and people are they're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's a different game. They're going to figure it out. They're like, okay, all right. Your plays get old. Everybody in the league's analyzed them 100,000 times. It's just, you know, that's part of the greatness of having a McCaffrey, because then it's like, well, it doesn't matter if I know what you're doing.
Because the guys are just better. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm
out athletic.
I would say they're top 4 in the conference right now, though. If Jaden Daniels can keep up his play, they're probably a top 5 team in the conference.
Well, you know what? Check it out. All I know is that, like what you just said, we haven't beaten teams that are good. We've beaten 1-win teams, and that's fine. So all I'm saying is this is football. So that same thing you're saying, what does that say for the Commanders when they play us and we put belt to ass, like I've explained to you? Now all of a sudden that narrative flips. All of a sudden that narrative flips, and the teams, you start looking at those 1-4 teams that have played teams like us, and you say, oh, well, maybe they would have beat the Commanders too if they were playing the Commanders. And that's just what it is. And I think that the Bears is just new. You get what I'm saying? It's just new. We know our struggles. We're so used to being down and knowing what it's like for us to be so close and them to fumble the bag. We're so used to that I feel like it's PTSD, but it's our time. It's really our time. I'm seeing these guys coming and just getting better. and getting better. And when something isn't your strong point, you go away from it. You go to something that you are good at. And that's what I feel like last game was showing me with the way that Caleb was playing the quick game. I'm not going to go back to harp on that, but just to see the adjustments that are being made and the way that the game's being approached by our team, we have something special, man. And I know that when we look at it and having a rookie quarterback, we look at it and we say, oh, this isn't supposed to happen. And, we're not quite there yet. And it might very well be so. But all I know is that we have a really special team right now that people have not seen and had to compete against yet. So all I'm saying is don't count us out.
I'm not, because you look at.
Don't be surprised.
I'm not. I mean, we went to Indianapolis. We faced the Colts. The Colts aren't getting blown out. When they lose by a little tiny bit. Colts are 3-3, so they're an average team. But we faced them at home, and with the brand new rookie quarterback and a new offensive coordinator, and we lost by 6. We faced. I'm sorry, we lost by. We lost by 5. Then we faced the Houston Texans in Texas at home, who are a 5-1 team, right? And we lost by 6, and we held them under 20.
Right.
So we're not a joke. We're
Right.
not a mistake. We're not an accident waiting to happen.
And they're 4-2. All of a sudden, you're looking at us a little bit differently. But those were winnable games.
Yeah, I mean, the one touchdown and you win.
That's
and so when I look at it, we just have to break through and beat a team that's winning.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done that this year yet. We have to beat a winning team, and I think in 2 weeks when we face the Commanders on Sunday afternoon, that's where it comes. That's where it comes. Then we get two more teams that are struggling, and that's just warm up and practice and beat down.
You're right.
For when we walk into the division.
I say we take these next 3 and we walk into the division with a little confidence to us and walk in there and let the division put them on notice that we're here, man. And
are you saying that right now we have 4 wins and we didn't win these next 3?
Yep.
We'd be like Peyton.
That's exactly what we're saying. If we walk into our division game 7-2, I think we're at least second place in the division, if not tied for first at that point. And I think we're in a really good position.
Yeah, we need to do that. And
we take a couple on the chin. I think we can come out of that fight on top.
Yeah, and then look. Also, we have the 2 out of 3 of the next games are with NFC opponents. So stacking NFC wins, leading into the run toward the playoffs is an excellent thing for us. That we can win some tiebreakers by stacking NFC wins.
Let's be real. Detroit was better than us last year, and we split with them.
Yeah, right? We almost took them out both Detroit times.
We won.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah, we beat them down the second time, and we let them off the hook the first time.
Right, man. You know what? I get it. Certain teams are rolling, and they got the cachet at the time to be that team that gets predicted to win. But that's why sports betting goes like it does, because the teams that you think are supposed to win don't ever win, because you could just bet all those teams and win, but it doesn't happen like that. And we're going to be that team this year that's going to be putting those guys in their heads, man. And I feel like it's going to happen in our division too. We just got to be patient and give these guys some time to gel together. I love that we get to see these guys late in the schedule, because I just can't wait for us to win some games that people counted us out for. That's all. I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, I like that.
London Town wins, baby.
Oh yeah, that tea time dub. That tea time. So, all right.
Till next time.
Yeah, man. So this is man, it's a good position we're in. I like seeing the way we're rolling, and we should keep rolling, man, into the bye and right back out of it.
There you go.
Well, I'm Uncle.
I'm Nephew.
I'm Son.
And we're talking Bears. Bear down.
Bear down.
Twice on Sunday.